Woke up slow, windows wide, coffee's warm, light feels right. Just one text made me smile. Ain't that love, just your style, don't need much.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are making pumpkin spice muffins together. I'm super excited for this because I was just discharged from the hospital last week, Wednesday. So I've taken a couple of days to kind of recuperate. I will explain this maybe later on, but I'm telling you, it has been a hellish week. So I'm really excited to just unwind, relax, and bake with you guys because you guys, who doesn't love one, pumpkin spice muffins, and two, who doesn't love baking? Baking is so much fun. Cooking is so much fun. So this is my opportunity to mentally reset because I was down bad, and I mean down bad. Down bad. So this is my opportunity to reset, mentally clear the air, and just be here with you guys, bake with you guys, and just get the opportunity to enjoy fall. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is preheat the oven, of course. So we're gonna set it to 375. Boom, done. And then we are going to start mixing. Also guys, this is kind of gonna be a little bit of a struggle bus because I bought a bunch of like Our Place stuff and I only have like a 6-pan muffin thing. And that's because when I got all of the Our Place like baking stuff, I gifted all of the baking stuff that I had. So I'm only working with a 6-pan situation here. So it's gonna take a long time to get through the batter. And I had to write down the recipe because I'm talking to you guys on my camera. I was gonna use my vlogging camera. So last year I bought a vlogging camera. I don't know what inspired that, but I bought a vlogging camera and I haven't used it yet. I was gonna use it to film this video. However, I need a taller tripod for it because it's like super short, the tripod that I have, so that's just not gonna work. So I'm filming on my phone again. Anyways, neither here nor there. I have the recipe written down right here and we are going to get started. I'm probably gonna make this a chatty bake with me kind of situation because I have to update you guys on what the hell happened with me and why I disappeared. I only disappeared for like a week, but still I feel like, you know, when you are used to seeing somebody kind of pop up and then all of a sudden they disappear, you're like, what happened? Are they gonna disappear forever? The answer is no, I'm not gonna disappear forever. But I did have a little bit of a health scare. I was compulsive vomiting. I had extreme abdominal pain and an intense nausea that would not go away. And I visited the ER 3 times, 3 days in a row. On the 3rd visit, they admitted me. They kept me for 3 days before discharging me. And I had a lot of tests done. And it was all due to my GI tract. I do still have that appointment on October 9th to see the GI specialist. But guys, I was down bad, like in a whole new, like I've never been that sick before in my entire freaking life. So anyways, it got to the point where I was so dehydrated and I could not keep down food that's why I have this in my arm. So this is called a PICC line, and this is where they feed you through a freaking IV. That's how bad it got. So homie was fucked up for a minute, okay? So yeah. Hopefully this comes out this week. I am able to hold food down now. So I am so thankful, so thankful that one, the nausea is gone. It's been 3 days now that the nausea has been gone.
Vomiting has stopped and the abdominal pain, so I'm taking it as a huge win. And the first thing that I decided to do was film a video for you guys. So I hope that you enjoy this video, even though I'm talking your ear off already. But that's what's up and that's what's been going on. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to add about 2 cups of all-purpose flour into our bowl. All right, so let's do, this is a 1 cup thing here. So there's 1 cup. And it's like not quite 2 cups, but just a little bit shy of 2 cups. I think that's a little bit too much. probably that's about good. Okay, so we got all-purpose flour done. Now we are going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm going to steal it from this little guy that I have. Ooh, he will open. My goodness. All right, so let's find a teaspoon. Okay, let's find a half a teaspoon. Oh, here's a teaspoon. Okay, so we've got 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We have 1 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. So here is the cinnamon. Let's do 1, and 1/4. So let's see if I have a 1/4. Yep, here's a 1/4. And 1/4 done of cinnamon. A half a teaspoon of ground ginger. We have ground ginger right here. And it's not open, so let's open that. Guys, I was like so beside myself when I got this sick. I'd never been this sick in my entire life, so I literally thought I was dying from the inside out. Like, I'm not even joking. I was crying in the hospital, and I'm not really a crier, so that says a lot. Okay, so half a teaspoon of ground ginger going in. So yeah, it has been crazy. And we need to add some salt. So we need a half a teaspoon of salt. So let's grab some of that, put that in, put this guy back. So yeah, it's been a hellish week and a half, and I'm so glad that I can just take this time to decompress and get back to things that I love. Like, I love cooking, I love baking, I love working out, I love going to yoga, I love just doing all of the good, like, self-care things that sometimes you overlook or you might take for granted because, you know, you just feel well and you don't necessarily take that as a like, oh yeah, I feel well. But like when you feel like absolute dog shit for a week and a half straight or you're compulsive vomiting, yeah, like you have a newfound like love or a newfound appreciation, I guess I could say, for just feeling like baseline normal. You know what I mean? Okay, so we need 3/4 a cup of sugar. And that's basically all I have left in this jar. So I'm just going to throw it in here. I know you guys are probably going to be like, what? You're baking and you're not going to measure that? Yep, that's what I'm doing because that's me. And the next thing is a half a cup of light brown sugar. So we're going to do that. Yeah, you guys, like when I know like baking is like supposed to be like super precise. And for the most part, I am pretty precise with things. But like, I know that was like pretty close to 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So that's why I just put it like that. And then this brown sugar is going to fight me to come out. Okay, so there is, I think I'm going to put a little bit more because I think I'm going to put a little bit more. You see what I mean? Okay, so okay, sorry if you hear that noise. That is my refrigerator. My refrigerator is so freaking loud. Like every time, and I'm not kidding you, like every time I try to film a video, the refrigerator always goes off and it doesn't shut up. Or my beautiful Baxter boy wants attention or he's eating or something like that. So I try to not have like a bunch of like excess noise and like random shit going on in the background. But the reality is it's likely gonna happen. And I think I just have to learn to roll with it. So this is what we're looking like here in the bowl. And the next thing is going to be the wet ingredients. So before we get to the wet ingredients, let me kind of mix up the dry ingredients. So yeah, I am just trying to break down this hard as a rock light brown sugar because I don't know why. Like, what can you do to make light brown sugar not harden up like a rock when, like, after you open the package? Do you guys know the secret? Because I do not know. And I had to stick that mason jar in the microwave for like 45 seconds in order to just get it to where I could actually get it out of the darn container and not like be a super hot mess. Okay, so now I am just mixing the dry ingredients. Oh my gosh, no, you guys, I forgot like the #1 important thing, like the absolute #1 important ingredient in these pumpkin spice muffins. And that is freshly ground nutmeg. Do not use, and I repeat, do not use the pre-ground nutmeg. Freshly grate your nutmeg. So that's what we are going to do right now. As you can see, I'm a little scatterbrained, but it is what it is. So I'm going to use the fine portion right here on this grater that I have. And the nice thing about this is, so this is from Our Place, this is also from Our Place, but it actually sits in the bowl like nicely where you can just like do. And so I'm going to get this whole nutmeg. I'm going to actually grab one. I think I'll just use this one that I was using before. No harm, no foul. And the recipe calls for 1/4 a teaspoon of nutmeg. So I am going to just grate a good amount of this in here, because this is literally, I kid you not, what makes the muffins so freaking special and so freaking amazing. So it's okay if you are a little overzealous and over generous with the nutmeg. Not too much, but just enough. So that was like almost 1/4 of a nutmeg, because it was like half when I started and now it's kind of like that. So I'm gonna put this guy back away, and that is done. So there is the freshly ground nutmeg, and let's incorporate that before we start adding in our wet ingredients. For our wet ingredients, we have vegetable oil, pumpkin, and milk. So what I'm gonna do before I add the wet ingredients actually is I am going to move all this stuff around. No, I'm actually going to get my muffin pan ready. So I'm gonna get this ready, and I'm gonna use these like super cute liners. I love these ones. I got these off of Amazon, and I'm just going to put one in each of these things. And like I said, this is going to take me forever to get through this batter, because I only have 6 cups and I didn't want to go to the store to buy another baking dish. So I'm using what I have, and it is what it is, my friends. This is real life YouTube. This is not edited fancy, I'm going to script my video YouTube. This is real, raw, uncut. Okay. Back to the wet ingredients. So we are going to end up putting in a whole can of pumpkin puree. I'm just going to use this one that I have here. If I can get the top open with my nails. And it looks like that's going to break. Wow, that was useless. So we are going to open it the old-fashioned way, if it wants to open. Oh my gosh, guys. What is happening? Oh my god, give me this pumpkin. I need you. Oh my god, it's not opening. Help me. Help me. How am I supposed to get this out? Ah. Oh my gosh, you guys. Help. Help a sister out, it's not working. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? Can I do it this way? Okay, we're gonna do it on the bottom, because the top part didn't want to work. I don't know why, but it didn't want to work. So luckily, we got it from the butt. Okay, there we go. So let's get a knife and pull all of this pumpkin out and into our bowl. I've never had that happen before, where the top just completely came off and then it wouldn't open. Like, that was weird. That's never happened to me before. Okay, so pumpkin is in, done. Now let us put in the 1/4 a cup of milk. There we go. And then we have a 1/2 a cup of vegetable oil. So let's use this liquid measurement again, and let's do, gosh, why does it say 1/2 a cup? I feel like that's a lot of vegetable oil. And that's all the vegetable oil I basically have. Okay. And there's that. So now let's whisk this all together. I feel like there's a lot of wet ingredients in here. I don't remember if this was more of a wetter batter or if it was, you know, well, I guess it's going to be okay. I mean, worst case scenario is we can always add a little bit more flour if it feels too wet. But right now, I think this is coming together as it's supposed to. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. But this smells amazing.
Okay, so this is how we are looking here, folks. And I think this is actually a really good batter. It's not too wet. I mean, it's wet, but it's not super wet where it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's able to still hold shape a little bit. So we're gonna take that as a win. Now, what we're going to do is we are gonna use this handy dandy little ice cream scoop in order to scoop them into there. Because if you've ever tried to use like a regular like scooper and not like something that is fancy and does something like this, it gets everywhere. So I like to use one of these little dudes to put the batter into the cups. So we do know that our oven is heated up already. So I'm gonna put 2 of these spoonfuls into 1 cup. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we are going to sit down and have a little chitty chat as to what the heck is going on with me. Uh-oh, I made a mess. Okay, well, let me see. Let me see if I can get that out. There. Clean that up. Okay, so now let's pop this in the oven. And we will make the rest of this in 6 muffin increments. We will make all of this batter in 6 muffin increments. So I just set the timer for 18 minutes and you and I are gonna have a little chitty chat while that bakes. As you guys know, I have been struggling with gut health issues for over a month, and I was trying to do some things here holistically in my home while I waited to get into the GI doctor. So I thought those things were working, but I just boom tanked and I nosedived bad to where I visited the ER, like I said, 3 times. And on the 3rd visit, they admitted me for 3 days. They did an upper GI scope and they found that everything looked fine and healthy. Then they did a gastric emptying study. Everything looked fine and healthy. I had an x-ray done, an ultrasound done, a CT scan done. I'm getting a HIDA scan done. They've done labs up the wazoo and they're not 100% sure what the root cause of it is. So they're saying right now I have functional abdominal distress or something like that. And they're also saying that like my esophagus is irritated, and that is because of the compulsive vomiting and the bile coming up from my stomach. So you guys, it got so bad where I was not holding down liquids or solids. So I couldn't hold down water. I couldn't eat a thing. If I ate a crumb, oh my goodness, it was coming out and it was not pretty. It was not a pretty sight. So they put me on this PICC line, which is basically where they implant an IV in your arm. It is, I mean, this is not connected to your heart, but it leads to your heart, so you have to be very careful. So anyways, this IV leads to this catheter here, and then this gets connected to something called a TPN, which is total I don't know how to say it correctly, but anyways, it's TPN, and it stands for basically IV nutrition, where you have protein, carbs, and fat all mixed into like a bag and you get fed through an IV. It got that bad to where they thought they were gonna have to put me on TPN. So luckily I started to turn a corner this past weekend where I was able to finally, with lots of anti-nausea meds and pain meds and all of the things, I was able to finally start to keep fluids down. And because I was able to keep fluids down, it started to curb the nausea and the vomiting. So that kind of decreased. And so slowly I've been able to drink like 120 ounces of water or fluids a day, which is a big deal, like compared to what I was consuming prior. And I have been starting to be able to eat a bland diet. So stuff like applesauce, pudding, jello, things like that. I may or may not be able to partake in eating these pumpkin spice muffins. We will see in the next couple of days how my stomach is kind of deciding to cooperate or not with me. But I wanted to make these because I love making these. I can share these with neighbors and it's no big deal. But I wanted to make a video with you guys and just kind of hang out. I didn't want to make a separate video as to like my health scare or what was going on. At first I thought I was going to, and then I was like, no, I don't want to do like clickbaity type of stuff where I have this thumbnail that was like hospitalized. Oh my gosh. I was like, we're not doing that. Like, we're just basically going to make it the next video, kind of do an explanation as to what happened and kind of go from there. Here is the first set of muffins that came out. I don't have a toothpick, so the way that I check is I use a handy dandy chopstick and I just poke it in there and it's clean. So that means it's done. Yay! And this batch actually took 23 minutes. I am going to repeat the process of putting this batter into those cups, into those trays, and into that oven, and we are going to repeat until all of this batter is done. Guys, look at how moist and delicious. I mean, oh my goodness, you guys. Is this not the perfect muffin? It is just so fluffy, so soft, so moist. You're gonna die when you make these. Oh my gosh, they smell so freaking good. Like, I wish I could just take a bite out of this, but I don't want to push it because I've just been starting to feel better, so I don't want to push it. But that is gonna do it for today's video. I had to do something weird because for some reason the bulk of my video filmed in slow-mo for some crazy reason. So I had to, in the editing portion, I had to like speed it up like 5 times in order to actually be able to upload this video. So I'm sorry, I'm still fucking up left and right with YouTube and editing and all that stuff, but bear with me. I promise at some point or another, I'm gonna get this shit down and we're gonna be rocking. We are gonna be rocking, you and I, my friend. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. But anyways, I will see you in the next video, which will be probably in a couple of days, and I will see you then. Bye.